Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with the beautiful Karina, my lovely prometida. And we're waiting for our K1 visa to get adjudicated at the service center in California, USA. And we are in month 12. We don't count days. Our NOA 1 letter was dated April 18th, 2022. And today is April 14th, 2023. So we're in month 12, and then next month is month 13. And then hopefully by month 14 we'll hear back from immigration. But we're patient people. We know they're very busy, and we don't harass them and call them and call them and call them and email them. Where's my visa? We don't do that. We leave them alone to do their job. And this video, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is about why our K1 visas taking so long. Okay, and why are they taking so long? And this video is an idea from our loyal YouTube viewer, Maria. Come on along, I'll explain. Okay, well, one of the first things that immigration will do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is they will do a background check, okay, on your fiance who lives abroad. He or she, immigration will do a police investigation of this person, and this causes delays in the processing. It's new processes that have been put in place to make sure that our frontiers are safe. Now, I know that most of you guys watching this video, your fiancés have got a clean criminal record, clean criminal history, no problems, but immigration still has to do this. So it creates delays. Now, if immigration uncovers questionable background on your fiancé, on your beneficiary, you know, let's say, for example, they have a previous immigration violation, that will slow down the K1 visa process significantly. So if your K1 visa has been sitting on a shelf for 16, 17 months, then USCIS is still doing background checks. Okay? The number one priority of the folks at USCIS, the National Visa Center, and our embassies around the world is the safety of you, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, you, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, and the staff at the embassies, the MVC, and USCIS. Now, another reason, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, for the delay in the processing of K1 visas is that there is in the past, there is still a little bit an interview backlog developed because of the limitations of staffing at embassies, at USCIS, and at the MVC because of COVID-related operational constraints. You know, so the federal government, you know, basically shut down shop. And this prevented embassies from processing K1 visas, scheduling interviews, and the volume of applicants kept going up, but there was zero embassy interviews. Okay? Not now, that's changed. Now embassies are back open and they're working operationally and doing a fantastic job cleaning up this backlog. Okay? Now remember, there was also a presidential proclamation, which was Presidential Proclamation 10014, which basically shut down geographic, restricted visa processing for a bunch of countries, for many immigrants, for nearly a year. Okay? So everything closed for a year. Now we're past that. We're now moving forward, but it's a slow process recovering from this pandemic that we had. USCIS, the National Visa Center in New Hampshire, and the staff at U.S. embassies all around the world are committed, ladies and gentlemen, to decreasing this backlog. And one thing that to remember is that K1 visas, even though the processing time has been increased significantly, they didn't stop completely processing them. Okay, so it didn't create the problems that it could have caused if there was zero visas being processed. And USCIS, MVC, embassies around the world, they're using their available resources of fixing the backlog, and they're fixing it. You will notice that, you know, K1 visas are getting processed instead of in 17, 18, 19 months. Now they're getting done in 13 and 14 months. Okay, there's a few people out there still waiting for their K1 visa adjudication. They've been waiting since October, November, December of 2021. And that's very unfortunate, but there's got to be a reason in those visas. Why are they sitting on the shelf still? Immigration is looking at them and looking at them and looking at them, so there's reasons for what they do at immigration. They just don't forget about you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you need to check the website, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary. Check the website of your embassies, where you live. If you live in India, hello everybody in India, our friends in Jamaica, Nigeria, England, Scotland, Wales, Peru, Argentina, Burundi. Folks are watching us all over the world, in over 80 countries now, probably closing in on 100 countries. I haven't checked the analytics, but check with your embassy website, the U.S. Embassy in, let's say, Kenya, South Africa, wherever you guys live, check the embassy website. Now, I'm making videos to try to help you by country, and it's a slow process, and I'm getting through different countries. I'm going to do I'll do Indonesia. I've got folks that want me to do videos on other countries. I'm doing it, but give me time. It takes me 4 to 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours, to research, process, edit, and publish a video. So it's a lot of work for me, but I don't mind. It's important information. I want to help you guys, okay? Now, the best way for me to present to you an explanation of this long wait time for a K-1 visa is okay. So I went to the National Visa Center, the NVC. I went to their February 2022 Immigrant Visa Backlog Report, okay? And as of January 31, 2022, there were 464,150, somewhere in there, immigrant visa applicants who were qualified for a visa. They were waiting for they were either IR1, CR1, or K1, and they were documentally completed, or they were just sitting on a shelf waiting for an embassy to open up to process the face-to-face interview. They're waiting for interview availability. And out of all those applicants, they could only process 27,470, something like that, okay? And for February of 2022. So we're talking close to 500,000 people just sitting in limbo waiting for a visa interview. That's a lot of folks. So now let's go forward in time. Let's go forward in time to April 2023, which was like from January to April, January, February, March, April. So a year passed plus 4 months. So 16 months we've gone forward in time. Now the backlog is down to around 55,000, not 500,000. So USCIS, NVC, and embassies have been working their tails off to clear out this backlog, which means your visa, visa applicants processing K-1 visas starting this October of 2023 will be in a turnaround time of 6 to 8 months, not a year and a half to 2 years. Okay? So, these backlogs are getting cleaned up. A year and a half has passed since the massive backlog went in, was accounted for. The immigration said it's going to take a year and a half to clean out this backlog, and they were right on the money. A year and a half has passed, and the backlog is getting cleaned out. People are getting into embassies. They're getting their visas. So, there's still more work that needs to be done by USCIS and, immigration, the State Department, but they've accomplished a lot. I will never ever bash USCIS. I will never complain. I will never whine and whimper and go on Facebook and say, oh, they're just horrible people. They're doing a terrible job. Karina and I have been waiting for a year for our K-1 visa. We won't do that because we know exactly what they're going through at the immigration, and they are doing the very best they can to fix this error, okay? Fix the backlog. The director of USCIS was authorized to hire 4,000 plus more people, which she did a year ago in the last 8 months, but she had to train them. You just don't throw somebody into the immigration pipeline and say, oh, go ahead and adjudicate this K-1 visa if they don't know what they're doing. What happens when they do that? Your visa could be denied for such a stupid reason. Okay, so they first had to train the people. The people have been trained, And now we're looking at K1 visas getting adjudicated in 13, 14 months. Like I said, there's still some out there still waiting from October of 2021. And there's got to be something in that visa that they're looking at real hard, or else it would have been adjudicated already, okay? Now, it's very important that you keep in touch with the National Visa Center. If you have been approved, if your visa is sitting at the National Visa Center, you got to email them, stay in touch with them and the embassy so you don't time out. If you don't contact immigration within a year, your visa will be terminated, okay? So you got to stay in touch with them. And when you try to schedule an interview at the embassy, keep trying. Once you get your NOA-2 letter, okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, then you're going to have to wait 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months for the USCIS to mail your K1 visa package to the National Visa Center. Okay, they'll mail the whole package or they'll scan it, and it takes time, okay? And then when it gets to the National Visa Center, then you have to wait for the National Visa Center to contact you with a ready letter, an email, ready email. So you keep checking your online account to see whether your visa is ready or not. When it's ready, and get in there and start scheduling your interview. Keep trying every day, every day, every day, every day. Get in there and try to schedule your interview at the embassy. Fill out your DS-160. Remember, the DS-160 is good for 30 days. After 30 days have passed, you have to redo it. But that's fine if you want to do that. But pay your visa fees and keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. Don't give up, guys. You've got it. You've reached it this far. Don't throw in the towel at the embassy interview. Okay? We're gonna help you through this process, guys. Okay? When we get our NOA-2 letter, I'll make a video. I'll make a video for you guys, and then when I go through the process of, scheduling the interview at the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, I'll go through it with you guys. I'll go through the process with you step by step, so you know exactly how to do it. And you will notice that we do not get frustrated, we do not get angry, we do not get mad at immigration. They're not the problem. The problem was COVID. Okay, the problem was COVID, not the U.S. government, not immigration, not USCIS, not all the embassies around the world. But COVID's passed. Now they're getting back on their feet and they're getting you in the pipeline. And soon, I promise you, you will have your K1 visa and your K2 visa in your hand. And today, April 14th, 2023, thousands of people flew to the USA with visas in their passports, tourist visas, spousal visas, K1 visas, so they can go on their touristy adventures here in the United States, or get married, or start their lives with their families. Hang in there, guys. You've got this. We're going to pull you over the finish line. We're not going to abandon you, okay? And if you got any questions, give me questions. I can answer your questions much quicker than immigration can. Immigration are busy. Leave them alone. Don't bother them. Let them do their job. Let them get on with their visa processing, and I'll help you with your questions. Don't forget, this Sunday at 5 p.m., the live stream with Diego. I'll do your questions and answers for an hour and a half of questions and answers, 5 p.m. Central Time this Sunday and every Sunday with Diego. See you then.
I'll be back.
And before I go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't forget it takes probably longer to get a tourist visa than it does to get a regular fiancé visa, K1 visa, IR1 visa. If Karina wanted to come to the USA on vacation, it would take her 550 plus days to get a B2 tourist visa. That's a long time. It's by the time her tourist visa would get approved, if it would get approved, she would already have her K1 visa and her passport. So another drawback is the length of time it's taking to get a tourist visa. It's taking 500, 600 days, and in some countries even longer to get a tourist visa. So, just be patient during this process, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Be patient. If you got questions, give me questions. I'll help you guys. We're in the same boat as you guys. We're rowing down the Rio. We're waiting for our visa too. We understand. We know it's tough, guys. We know it's tough. But we're here with you. We're going to be right here with you. See you soon.